Braille class. Today we are going to be learning the trigraph IR. So we're going to do our revise first and then I will go on to teaching you the sound that we've actually not taught before. So let's have a little look first. That first sound, E, ow, ch, oo or ow or o, oo or u, ah, your, split digraph O, A, E, split digraph A, E, remember E, your, P's, fantastic. Let's see whether you can spell some of those phonemes. So can you spell the split digraph A sound for caveman Dave? Remember, pause that video. Let's see if you're right. A and E. And remember, there's a space in between them for that letter because they're very chatty. Well done. Next one. Can you write down the digraph for what's for dinner? What's for dinner? Remember, pause that video. Let's see if you're right. E and R. Well done if you were. Next one. Can you write down the split digraph O for mole in a hole? What two letters make that split digraph O sound? Remember, pause the video. Let's see if you're right. O, space, and an E. Remember, space for that other letter to go in. Brilliant. Last one. Ooh. Can you write down the digraph? R for shark in the park. R for shark in the park. Pause that video. Let's see if you're right. A and R. Well done. Now we're going to practice some of those high frequency and common exception words. Remember, thinking first, and then when I push the card forward, see whether you can say that word. Look. Now remember that O and O can make an or an oo sound. So we have to pick which one is correct for different words. So if you lived up north, they actually say Luke, as in look at that. But we say look. So different dialects say things and pronounce things differently. But where we're from, we pronounce that as an so it'd be look. Look over there, shouted sound, look. Next one, remember thinking first. For, as in I went for dinner. We're not talking about the number 4 here because that's spelled F-O-U-R. It's one of those homophones. Remember when we were looking a few days ago at the word to, that you could spell it T-W-O, T-O, T-O-O. The word for is the same. You've got the number 4, which is spelled F-O-U-R, and then you've got this type of for, F-O-R. So different spellings, but you say them the same, and there's different meanings. We are going for dinner. I am having my breakfast and then going for some lunch. For. Remember thinking? Now. Brilliant. Oh, common exception word. Let's see whether you can do that one. Could. So the bit that's difficult and tricky in this one is the fact that this O and U usually would make ow for look out, bears are about. But it doesn't. The O, the U and the L is making an sound. So you've got to imagine that the O is silent and the L is silent and it's could. So that's the bit that's tricky. That O, U and L all together are just making an sound. And we know usually they wouldn't. So the word is could. One of our common exception words. And the last one, into. Well done. Let's see whether you can spell those words now. So can you spell the word for, as in I'm going for a bath? The word is for. And remember, if you want to challenge yourself, write some sentences with those words in. Pause that video. Let's see if you're right. F-O-R. Well done. Next one. Look. Look, I need to look for my glasses because I've lost them. The word is look. So I will pause that video. Let's see if you're right. L-O-O-K. Well done if you were. Next one. Oh. Could. Could. I could be good today, or I could eat lots of chocolate. Could. Remember, it's that common exception word. There's 3 letters that just make one sound in this word. It's really tricky. Let's see. C-O-U-L-D. Well done. Last one, into. Into. And remember, that's just one word, so no finger spaces. Into. Remember, pause that video. Let's see if you're right. I-N-T-O. Well done. Now, today, I've had to make the caption action card. And I think this is actually quite a tricky sound. It's a trigraph. It's 3 letters that come together to make one sound. And the trigraph is aya. Can you say that? Aya. And I'm going to show you my rubbish illustration because you all know that Miss Bailey is pants at drawing. This is a fire, okay? So I want you to think of our topic of the Great Fire of London, okay? We did a dance to that and we were going, fire, fire. So when you see this side of our caption action card today, you see this, I want you to imagine you're in the Great Fire of London, there's burning buildings all around you and you're shouting, fire, fire. Can you see whether you can do that? Let's see. Fire! Fire! So when you see this side of the card, you're going to say fire! Fire! That's our caption action today. Let's have a look at the 3 letters that make our trigraph aya. So I'm going to put them right up to the front and I want to know the letter names. What are the letter names that make our aya sound today? I-R-E. Well done. So when you see this side, you're going to say aya. Can you say that? Aya. When you see this side, I want you to get your Great Fire of London hat on. Fire! Fire! Okay, let's see whether you can do it. Aya! Fire! 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 Aya! Good. Now I want you to say the sound in a quiet voice. Aya. Now I want you to say this sound in what you could imagine a dog's voice would be. Aya! Aya! That would definitely be my dog's voice. Now see whether you can say something with a really squeaky high voice. Aya! Aya! And now see whether you can say it in a really low voice. Aya! Aya! Fantastic. Now let's see whether we segment and blend some words with our aya sound here that we've just learned. So let's have a look at this first word. Remember, we're segmenting it not once, not twice, but 3 times. Let's try it together. Aya, aya, aya. Fire! Like fire, fire, like in our caption action. Well done. Next one, see whether you can do this one on your own. So pause the video if you need to and see whether you can segment and blend this word. Let's see if you're right. Aya, 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 hire. Like when you're hiring something out. So say if you go on holiday, you might hire a car. So it's like you're borrowing it, you pay some money to borrow it and then you give it back. Or you might hire out a bike if you're going round the mountains. Hire, really. Now let's try this one. Now this one's a trickier one, so have a look at this one. See whether you can segment it and blend it on your own, and then I will let you know whether you've got it right or not. So remember, pause that video. Let's have a look. So on this one, the bit that's tricky is this eh here, because that usually makes an eh sound. So d, eh, s, aya, d, eh, s, aya, d, eh, s, aya, desire. And we don't pronounce the word like that. We say desire. So this eh is making almost like an I sound in this word. And here, that S makes like a Z sound. Desire, desire. So it's like desire, desire, desire. So when you desire something, it's something that you want. So I desire a ruby ring. Okay, so desiring something is like when you really want something, you're interested in something, you want it. Desire. Fantastic. And the last one, let's see whether you can do this one on your own. So remember, pause that video, segment it not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then blend it. Let's see if you're right. Ah, sp, aya, ah, sp, aya, ah, sp, aya. Aspire, aspire. So the word aspire means when you're trying to achieve that thing. So it might be an ambition, So like, I aspire to be a doctor when I'm older. That's where I want to get to. I aspire somebody. There might be a person that you want to really be like. So a famous footballer or a celeb or a singer, an actor that you might aspire to be. Now see if you can spell those words. So I'm going to say the word and I want you to pause the video, see if you can spell it. If you want to challenge yourself, write a sentence with that word in two. So can you spell the word fire? Fire. So thinking about our ire sound today, what three letters make that sound? Fire. Fire. And have a look at my teeth. Fire. Think about which letter it is. Pause that video. Let's see if you're right. F-I-R-E. Well done if you were. Next one. Desire. Now this is the hard one. Desire. Remember, it's not exactly spelled how it's pronounced. It's a bit tricky. Desire. I will pause that video. Let's see if you're right. D-E-S-I-R-E. Well done if you were. Next one. Higher. Higher. And I don't mean higher as in reaching up higher, because that's spelled differently. I mean higher as in hiring something out. Borrowing something, paying for it, then giving it back. Higher. Remember, pause that video. Let's see if you're right. H-I-R-E. And the last one, aspire. Can you spell the word aspire? Aspire. Remember, pause that video. Let's see if you're right. A-S-P-I-R-E. Well done. Now we're going to have a go at holding our sentence, writing it and then extending it. And we're going to be using the conjunction when today. And we're going to use it in two different places in the sentence. So I'm going to show you how we do that. So the sentence we're going to be writing is, we hired bikes. So the word hired, suffix ed on the end, but in the word hire we get rid of the e and we add ed. So I'll show you that now. So we is our first word and we need to do our actions. So we're going to go like this, because we means more than one person, it's plural. So we hired, I want you to imagine you're giving some money over, because when you hire something you usually pay for it. So if you hire the bike, you hire a yacht, you hire some skating boots, if you went ice skating, you pay for it and then you give them back. It's almost like borrowing, but you have to pay for it instead. So for hire, we're going to give some money. So we hired, and then I want you to imagine you're on a bike. Bikes. Full stop. Let's go again. We hired bikes. Full stop. And again. We hired bikes. Full stop. Now let's see whether we can write that sentence. So the word we is one of our common exception words because it's spelt differently to how we pronounce it. So the first sound is the same, that's that w. And because we're at the beginning of a sentence, we need a capital letter. So big capital W. Then we've got the sound E, so w, E in the word we. And we only use one letter E for this, that's why it's a bit tricky. So we just got one letter E. So we, next word, hired. So the first sound is, so finger space. We're using our ire sound from today, so I-R-E. And because we're using the suffix ed, you get rid of the E and add the ed on the end. So E we've already added, and then we just add the D. We hired bikes. So bikes, we've got that first sound B. Now we've got to think about which I sound it is. So we can spell I-E, as in tie to my tie. We can spell I-G-H, so that trigraph for high. And we've also got the split digraph I. So I need to think, which I do I need to use and which one is spelled correctly? So I don't think it's the trigraph I for my pants are too tight. So I'm not going to try that one. I don't think it's tighten your tie, I, so I don't think it's I reckon it's split digraph. So I'm going to use my split digraph. And it's bike. So I need to think, which k is it? Is it curly or is it kicking? Okay, now I need to think, there's an E on the end. And I know if I put a curly k there, that curly k, because there's an E on the end, becomes a S. So I know it's not going to be that. So it can't be a curly k, so it must be a kicking. So kicking. And then we have the S on the end. So bike. bikes. We hired bikes. We hired bikes, and I need my full stop. Now, remember, I said we're extending it using the conjunction when. Now, when we use that conjunction, you can use it after the word bikes, but you could also use it at the beginning. So I'm going to show you how we do that. So I'm going to extend the sentence. We hired bikes when we went on holiday. So I'm going to use the conjunction when, which is W-H-E-N. We hired bikes when we went on holiday. Okay, and that would be a really good way to extend your sentence. So you're using that conjunction when after the word bikes, and then you're saying, what was the time that you hired bikes? So when did you do that? So when I was on holiday, we hired bikes. We hired bikes when we went on holiday. Now I'm going to show you how you can use when at the beginning, and we can move this orange sentence to the beginning and have we hired bikes at the end. So let me show you. We could start when, so big capital W. So I've got my when, we. So when we went on holiday, so that's this orange sentence. Can you see that? So when we went on holiday, then we're going to put a comma, we hired bikes. So you're moving the clauses. So the clause at the beginning now, the orange one that says, when we went on holiday, that wouldn't make sense as a sentence on its own. Okay, it's called a subordinating clause. It needs the main clause to make sense. So I've just moved it. So we hired bikes when we went on holiday. When we went on holiday, comma, we hired bikes. And then we can put our full stop on the end. So see whether you can have fun manipulating those parts of the sentence, that subordinating clause. Can you do it at the end? So when we went to America, when we went in the mountains, and then see whether you can do it with it at the beginning as well. I've just brought it a little bit closer so you guys can see, because I know that I've used the orange pen, so it might be quite difficult. So we hired bikes when we went on holiday. When we went on holiday, comma, we hired bikes.